Stay calm even when everything feels like it's falling apart. Because what you're living through right now is not punishment, it's preparation. Stay with me till the end. The final lessons will change how you see struggle forever. I know where you are right now, trying to stay strong while your mind feels noisy, watching others move ahead while you're stuck, asking, when is it my turn? You've worked, you've waited, you've prayed, and yet chaos keeps knocking. But listen carefully. Chaos doesn't come to destroy you. It comes to reveal who you are becoming. And today I want to walk with you through 7 lessons, not as theory, not as motivation, but as lived wisdom. Each step will take you deeper into calm, clarity, and quiet power. And if you think the first lessons are strong, do not miss the last ones. That's where everything shifts. Chaos is not the enemy of your life. Resistance is. Most people misunderstand this, and because of that misunderstanding, they suffer more than they need to. When chaos enters their life, they immediately label it as bad, unfair, or destructive. The mind panics because it wants control, predictability, and comfort. But life does not grow in comfort. Growth happens in disruption, in uncertainty, in moments where the old structure can no longer hold who you are becoming. Chaos is simply life rearranging itself. The pain begins when you fight what is happening instead of understanding why it is happening. Think about the moments when everything felt calm on the outside, yet you were stagnant on the inside. Nothing pushed you, nothing challenged you, nothing demanded change. Now compare that to the moments when life shook you, confused you, even scared you. Those were the moments that forced you to look inward, to question your habits, your beliefs, your direction. Chaos doesn't come to destroy your life. It comes to destroy what is false in you. The false identities, the comfort-based choices, the illusions that you were safe simply because things were familiar. Resistance is when you say, this should not be happening. Acceptance is when you say, this is happening. Now how do I respond consciously? The difference between these 2 sentences is the difference between suffering and growth. When you resist chaos, you tighten your body, your breath becomes shallow, your mind starts racing, and your energy leaks into fear. But when you accept chaos, something powerful happens. Your nervous system calms, your awareness sharpens. You stop reacting and start observing. And observation is the doorway to wisdom. Look at nature. Storms do not ask for permission. Seasons do not negotiate. Trees do not complain when the wind bends them. They move with life, not against it. The tree that refuses to bend snaps. The tree that bends survives and grows stronger roots. Human beings suffer because they want life to move according to their plans, timelines, and expectations. But life moves according to intelligence far greater than the thinking mind. Chaos arrives when your current version can no longer carry your future. Calmness in chaos is not weakness. It is not denial. It is not passivity. Calmness is deep trust combined with alertness. It means you are present enough to respond wisely instead of reacting emotionally. When chaos comes and you stay calm, you are telling life, I am ready to learn. And life always teaches those who are ready. The moment you stop fighting reality, reality stops fighting you. Many people think peace will come when chaos ends. But this is the great illusion. Peace does not come from the absence of chaos. It comes from inner alignment during chaos. If you cannot stay calm now, you will not stay calm even when things improve, because the mind will find new reasons to worry. But if you learn calmness here, in uncertainty, then even success will not disturb you. And that is real power. This lesson is only the beginning, so stay with me. The next lessons will go even deeper. And if you think this realization is strong, what comes next will completely shift how you see silence, patience, and timing. Do not leave now. The real transformation unfolds step by step. When you stop resisting chaos, you conserve energy. That energy returns to you as clarity. Clarity shows you what to release, what to strengthen, and what to trust. Suddenly, chaos doesn't feel like an attack. It feels like a message. A message saying something in you is ready to evolve. And when you understand that, fear loses its grip. You may not know exactly where the path leads, but you know one thing clearly: you are no longer fighting life, and that is the first victory. Because the moment resistance ends, growth begins. In the middle of chaos, noise multiplies, not just outside but inside. Thoughts start colliding with each other. Opinions from others grow louder. Fear speaks quickly, confidently, and convincingly. And most people mistake this inner noise for intelligence. They believe reacting fast means being strong. But reaction is not strength. Reaction is unconsciousness. True strength is silence. Not the silence of avoidance, but the silence of awareness. As silence is where your power has always been hiding. When everything around you feels unstable, silence becomes your anchor. It is the space where you stop leaking energy into panic and begin gathering it back into yourself. This is why calm people appear mysterious. They are not empty, they are full, but inwardly they are not weak, they are rooted. While others speak to release their fear, the silent one listens to understand reality. Notice this in your own life. The moments you reacted emotionally, sending that message too fast, making that decision in anger, explaining yourself when no explanation was required. Those moments cost you peace. But the moments you paused, breathed, and stayed silent, something shifted. The situation often resolved itself, or you responded with clarity instead of regret. Silence saved you even when you didn't realize it. Silence is not the absence of action. It is the absence of unnecessary action. It is choosing not to add your anxiety to an already chaotic moment. In silence, you see patterns. You notice what truly matters and what is just noise. You realize that many problems don't require force. They require space. And silence creates that space. The mind hates silence because silence exposes truth. In silence, excuses collapse. Distractions lose power. You begin to feel what you've been avoiding. That's why people stay busy, loud, entertained. But growth doesn't happen in distraction. Growth happens in stillness. And stillness is uncomfortable only until you learn to sit with yourself honestly. When chaos surrounds you, silence becomes a form of discipline. It teaches you to observe before responding, to feel before speaking, to understand before acting. This discipline builds inner authority. You no longer need to prove yourself. You no longer need to convince everyone. You become selective with your energy. And energy, once conserved, turns into clarity. Silence also protects your vision. When you speak too much about what you are building, you expose it to doubt, yours and others. Silence allows ideas to mature. Just like a seed grows underground, unseen, before it breaks the surface, your next version needs quiet time. Not everyone needs access to your process. Not everyone deserves to hear your plans. Silence gives your growth privacy. Stay with this understanding because the lessons ahead are even more powerful. Many people miss their breakthrough not because they lacked talent, but because they lacked silence. They spoke too early, reacted too fast, trusted too quickly. Silence would have saved them years. Silence also deepens trust, not in others, but in life. When you are silent, you stop forcing outcomes. You allow things to unfold. You listen to intuition instead of impulse, and intuition speaks softly. It does not shout. If your life is loud, you will miss it. Silence is how you hear your inner guidance. This is why calm people seem unshakable. They are not controlled by every wave of emotion. They let emotions rise and fall without becoming them. Silence gives you distance from your thoughts, and distance gives you freedom. You realize you are not the storm. You are the sky watching it pass. If you can learn silence here, in chaos, you will never be powerless again. Because silence gives you choice. Choice gives you dignity. And dignity gives you peace. Do not underestimate this lesson. The next ones build on this foundation. If you feel something shifting inside you right now, stay with it. The journey is just getting deeper. There is a quiet pain that comes from waiting, not the loud kind that screams for attention, but the silent kind that sits with you at night and asks uncomfortable questions. How long? Am I doing something wrong? Did life forget me? Most people never talk about this pain, yet it shapes more lives than failure ever does. Waiting humbles you. It strips you of illusions. And if you allow it, it matures you in ways instant success never could. Time is not delaying you, it is refining you. But the mind interprets slow movement as rejection. It assumes that if results are not visible, effort is wasted. This is a misunderstanding. Growth is often invisible before it becomes undeniable. The most important changes in your life will happen quietly, internally, long before the outer world reflects them. Think of how muscles grow, not during the lift but during rest. The strain creates micro tears and the stillness repairs them stronger than before. Life works the same way. Effort is necessary but space is essential. If life is slowing you down, it is asking you to integrate what you've already learned before moving forward. Speed without integration leads to collapse. Waiting teaches patience, but more importantly, it teaches self-trust. When external validation is absent, you are forced to answer a deeper question. Would I still walk this path if no one clapped? This is where many people quit, not because the path is wrong, but because their motivation was borrowed from approval instead of purpose. Time removes borrowed motivation and leaves only what is real. Stay with me, because what comes next is even more powerful. If you understand this, your relationship with frustration will change forever. When life delays you, it is protecting you from outcomes you are not yet ready to hold. Success arrives with responsibility, visibility, and pressure. If these arrive before inner stability, they destroy instead of elevate. Time builds the inner structure required to carry out a success. This is why comparing your timeline to others is so dangerous. You do not see what they sacrificed, what they rushed, or what they lost. You only see the highlight, not the weight. Your journey is customized to your nervous system, your emotional depth, your capacity to remain grounded. Life does not rush souls it wants to keep intact. Waiting also sharpens awareness. When movement slows, observation increases. You begin to notice patterns in your behavior, relationships, and decisions. You see what needs healing. You recognize habits that no longer serve you. If life kept moving fast, you would carry these patterns forward and repeat the same suffering at a higher level. Waiting interrupts cycles. There is dignity in moving at the pace of truth instead of pressure. Pressure creates shortcuts. Shortcuts create fragility, and fragility cannot hold abundance. Time builds resilience. It teaches you how to stand alone without feeling lonely, how to trust without guarantees, how to continue without applause. These are not small lessons, they are foundations. The moment you stopped fighting time, time starts working with you. Frustration dissolves into focus, anxiety softens into clarity. You realize that life is not asking you to rush, it is asking you to be ready. And readiness is not visible on the surface. It is felt internally as calm confidence, not restless urgency. If you are still waiting, take this as a sign you are being prepared for something that requires depth, not speed. The next lessons will reveal why ego, trust, and readiness are the final pieces of this journey. Do not leave now. The real transformation is still unfolding, because when your time arrives, it will not feel chaotic. It will feel calm. At some point on this journey, you begin to realize that chaos outside is often intensified by chaos inside. And when you look closely, you see the source of that inner turbulence, ego. Not ego, arrogance, but ego as constant comparison, constant demand, constant need for validation. Ego wants proof that you matter. Ego wants results now. Ego wants recognition before readiness. And when life doesn't cooperate, ego feels offended, impatient, restless. Calmness enters your life. The moment ego steps back, ego asks, "Why not me?" Awareness asks, "What is this teaching me?" This single shift changes everything. Ego lives in expectation. It creates timelines, attaches identity to outcomes, and ties self-worth to achievement. That's why delays hurt so deeply. It's not the delay itself that causes pain. It's the story ego tells about the delay. The story that says you are behind, lesser, forgotten. But these stories are not truth. They are interpretations born from insecurity. When ego is loud, even small obstacles feel like personal attacks. A closed door feels like rejection. A slow season feels like failure. But when awareness rises, perspective widens. You begin to see that life is not working against you. It is working on you. And that understanding brings calm. Ego always wants to arrive. Awareness wants to align. Arrival without alignment is dangerous. It creates success without peace, recognition without stability, achievement without fulfillment. You may have seen this in others, people who got everything they wanted and yet became anxious, bitter, or lost. Ego pushed them forward faster than their inner world could keep up, and the cost was high. Let this sink in, because the lessons ahead depend on it. Calmness is not achieved by controlling life. It is achieved by releasing the need to control how life unfolds. When ego relaxes, trust begins. When trust begins, resistance fades. And when resistance fades, energy flows where it's needed most, into growth, not struggle. Ego also loves explanation. It wants to explain itself, defend itself, justify itself. It wants to be seen as right. But calm people don't waste energy proving themselves. They know who they are becoming, and that inner knowing doesn't require approval. Silence becomes easier. Patience becomes natural, and comparison loses its grip. Notice how peaceful you feel when you stop measuring your life against someone else's progress. The moment you stop asking, am I ahead or behind? And start asking, am I present and honest? Something inside you relaxes. That relaxation is not laziness. It is alignment. And alignment brings clarity. Ego feeds on urgency. Awareness thrives in presence. Ego says, hurry or you'll miss out. Awareness says, be here or you'll miss yourself. And the truth is, you never lose what is meant for you by moving consciously. You only lose things when you rush unconsciously. This is where calmness becomes strength. You no longer need to chase outcomes to feel whole. You no longer need external confirmation to feel worthy. You act because it feels right, not because you're afraid of falling behind. And this inner shift is subtle, but life-changing. Stay with me. The next lesson takes this understanding even deeper, because once ego steps back, something else must step forward: trust. And trust is not what most people think it is. If you felt yourself softening, grounding, becoming quieter inside as you listen to this, that's awareness waking up. And when awareness leads, chaos loses its power. You don't need to defeat ego. You only need to stop letting it drive. That's when calmness becomes your natural state. There is a version of trust that is misunderstood by many. People think trust means closing your eyes, stopping effort, and hoping life will somehow fix everything for you. That is not trust. That is avoidance. Real trust is alert, grounded, and active. It is not blind, it is deeply aware. And this kind of trust only appears when you stop fighting reality and start cooperating with it. Trust begins where control ends. Control is driven by fear. It tries to manage outcomes because it does not believe life is intelligent. Trust, on the other hand, comes from understanding that life responds to consciousness, not desperation. When you trust, you still act, but your actions are calm, precise, and intentional. You move without panic. You choose without rushing. You work without anxiety. Think about planting a seed. You prepare the soil, you water it, you protect it. But after that, you don't dig it up every day to see if it's growing. That would destroy it. Yet this is exactly how most people live. They do the work, then constantly doubt the process. They overthink, they interfere, they sabotage their own progress with fear disguised as concern. Trust allows things to grow. Stay with this understanding, because the lessons ahead are even more powerful. When trust enters your life, patience stops feeling like waiting and starts feeling like confidence. You are no longer tense about the future because you know you are doing your part in the present. This is a quiet strength, one that doesn't need reassurance every day. Trust also changes how you deal with uncertainty. Instead of asking, what if this fails? You start asking, what is this teaching me? This doesn't mean you stop caring about results. It means results no longer define your self-worth. You begin to measure success by alignment instead of outcome. And alignment always attracts the right outcome at the right time. Most people suffer because they try to trust the future while doubting themselves. True trust begins with self-trust. Trusting that you can adapt. Trusting that you can learn. Trusting that even if things don't go as planned, you will not break. When you trust yourself this way, fear loses its urgency. You stop needing guarantees, and life rarely gives guarantees, it gives opportunities. Trust also requires stillness. If your mind is constantly racing, you will mistake anxiety for intuition. Intuition is calm. It does not beg for attention. It doesn't scream. It nudges. And you can only hear it when you slow down. True. As tea grows in quiet spaces, not in mental noise. This is why chaos is such a powerful teacher. It strips away false certainty, and forces you to rely on something deeper than plans, presence. When you act from presence, your actions are grounded. You don't overshoot, you don't undercut yourself. You respond to what is, not what you fear might be. Trust also dissolves comparison. When you trust your path, other people's progress stops threatening you. You no longer feel rushed by someone else's timeline. You realize that what arrives early is not always what lasts. What lasts is built slowly, consciously, with care. And trust is the patience to allow that building process. Let this sink in, because the final lessons depend on this foundation. Without trust, calmness collapses under pressure. With trust, calmness becomes unshakable. You may still feel fear, but fear no longer controls your decisions. You acknowledge it, then act anyway. Trust doesn't remove uncertainty, it removes fear's authority over you. And when fear loses authority, your energy becomes focused instead of scattered. Focus builds momentum. Momentum attracts opportunity. And opportunity arrives quietly, almost unexpectedly. Not when you demand it, but when you are ready for it. If you're still here, you're doing the work. Stay with it. The next lessons reveal why readiness matters more than timing, and why calmness is the final victory. Because when you trust deeply, life starts trusting you back. There is a truth that only reveals itself after long seasons of patience. Your time does not arrive when you want it. It arrives when you are able to hold it without losing yourself. Most people think delay is punishment, but delay is protection. Life is not withholding from you, it is preparing you so that when things finally move, they don't crush you with their weight. Many people receive what they ask for too early: success, visibility, responsibility, power, and it breaks them. Not because these things are bad, but because the inner foundation was not strong enough. They lose peace, they lose balance, they lose themselves trying to maintain what they were not ready to carry. And life watches this happen again and again, which is why it waits with those it wants to keep whole. Readiness is invisible, but it is felt. It feels like emotional stability, not emotional excitement. It feels like grounded confidence, not restless ambition. It feels like being okay even if nothing happens today, because you know you are aligned. When you reach this state, something powerful occurs: desperation disappears. And the moment desperation disappears, life begins to open. Stay with me, because this realization changes how you see success forever. Readiness means you can receive without fear, grow without arrogance, and lead without losing humility. It means success will add to your life, not replace your identity. You won't need to prove yourself through achievements, because you already know who you are without them. Life tests readiness quietly. It tests how you handle silence, how you handle small responsibilities, how you treat people when nothing is at stake, how you respond when plans fall apart. These moments seem ordinary, but they are assessments. If you can stay calm here, you can stay calm anywhere. If you can remain ethical when no one is watching, you can remain grounded when everyone is watching. This is why your calmness matters more than your talent. Talent opens doors, but calmness determines how long you stay inside. When opportunity finally comes, it often arrives suddenly. If your inner world is chaotic, sudden change becomes overwhelming. But if your inner world is stable, sudden change feels natural. Many people chase readiness through external achievements: more skills, more titles, more validation. But readiness is internal. It's the ability to face uncertainty without collapsing. It's the ability to receive praise without inflation. and criticism without destruction. It's knowing when to move forward and when to wait, without resentment in either. When you are ready, you stop forcing outcomes. You stop begging life to hurry. You stop measuring your worth by milestones, and paradoxically, this is when things begin to move faster. Not because you pushed harder, but because resistance disappeared. Life flows where there is space. Do not underestimate this phase of your life. What feels slow now is building emotional muscle. What feels quiet now is strengthening discernment. What feels ordinary now is teaching discipline. These qualities are not glamorous, but they are essential. Without them, success becomes fragile. Stay present for the final lesson, because once readiness is formed, there is only one thing left to master, and that is calmness itself. Your time will come, not loudly, not dramatically, but steadily, when you are strong enough to remain yourself inside it. At the end of every struggle, beyond all waiting and effort, there is a realization that changes everything. Calmness is not just a tool you use during chaos, it is the victory itself. Most people believe victory looks like success, recognition, or arrival. But those are external. Calmness is internal. And once you have it, nothing can truly defeat you. When you remain calm in chaos, life begins to respond differently to you. Problems lose their power to shake you. Delays lose their ability to frustrate you. Even failure becomes information instead of identity. Calmness gives you a centered place to stand, no matter what is happening around you. And from that center, you make better decisions, build healthier relationships, and move through life with quiet confidence. Calmness does not mean life becomes easy. It means life becomes clear. You stop wasting energy on emotional reactions and start investing it in conscious action. You see things as they are, not as your fear paints them. And clarity is one of the most underrated forms of strength. Clear people don't panic, they adapt. This is the point where you no longer need to control outcomes. You focus on effort, intention, and integrity. Results follow naturally. When calmness leads, fear no longer drives your choices. You act from understanding, not from urgency. And actions taken from understanding are always more effective. Many people reach success and still feel empty because they never developed calmness. Their nervous system remains in survival mode. They are constantly chasing the next thing, afraid of losing what they have. But calmness frees you from this cycle. It allows you to enjoy what arrives without clinging to it, to work hard without burning out, to care deeply without anxiety. Calmness also deepens gratitude. You stop overlooking what you already have. You become present with simple moments, and presence multiplies meaning. When you are present, life feels richer. Not because you have more, but because you experience more. If you are listening to this now, understand something important. Calmness is not something you wait for after everything improves. Calmness is something you practice now, so that when things improve, you don't lose yourself in them. This is why calmness is the final lesson. It holds all the others together. The waiting taught you patience, the silence taught you clarity, the delay taught you readiness, the trust taught you alignment, and calmness turns all of it into wisdom. From this place, your time arrives naturally, not as a dramatic breakthrough, but as a steady unfolding. You don't chase it, you meet it. And when you meet it, you are not desperate, you are grounded. Remember this always: life may test you, slow you down, and challenge your certainty, but it never forgets sincerity. When you stay calm, aware, and aligned, life recognizes it. Your time will come, and when it does, you won't panic, you won't rush, you won't lose yourself. At some point, after all the effort, the waiting, the inner battles, and the unanswered questions, a realization quietly arrives, not loudly, not dramatically. It doesn't announce itself with fireworks or applause. It arrives like a deep breath you didn't know you were holding. You realize that calmness was never something you were supposed to reach after life finally made sense. Calmness was the sense itself. It was the clarity hiding underneath the noise, the strength growing beneath the pressure, the wisdom forming beneath every moment you thought was wasted. Most people think victory looks like arrival, like finally getting what they want, like proving something to the world. But those victories are fragile. They depend on circumstances staying favorable. Calmness is different. Calmness stays even when circumstances shift. And that is why calmness is not just a coping mechanism. It is the final victory. When you learn to remain calm in chaos, something fundamental changes inside you. You stop identifying yourself with every emotion that passes through. Fear may arise, but it no longer defines you. Doubt may appear, but it no longer controls you. Uncertainty may surround you, but it no longer paralyzes you. You begin to understand, not intellectually, but experientially, that emotions are weather patterns, not your identity. And once you understand this, life can no longer shake you the way it once did. Calmness does not make you passive. It makes you precise. When the mind is frantic, actions are sloppy, you react instead of responding. You speak too fast. You choose too quickly. You burn bridges you later wish you had crossed slowly. Calmness slows your inner tempo so that your outer actions become intentional. You don't rush into decisions just to escape discomfort. You don't cling to outcomes just to feel safe. You move with awareness, and awareness makes every step more effective. This is why calm people often appear to move slower, yet arrive further. They are not distracted by every opportunity or threat. They know when to say yes, and more importantly, when to say no. Calmness gives you discernment. It allows you to feel the difference between impulse and intuition. Impulse shouts, intuition whispers. Without calmness, you miss the whisper. Many people are busy chasing peace while living in constant internal war. They want external stability but remain internally unstable. Calmness reverses this dynamic. You may still face external challenges, but internally you are anchored. And once you are anchored in Sid E, nothing outside can truly uproot you. Life stops feeling like something that happens to you and starts feeling like something that unfolds through you. Calmness also changes your relationship with time. You stop seeing time as an enemy that is running out. You stop measuring your worth by speed. You understand that depth takes time, and anything built without depth eventually collapses under its own weight. Calmness teaches you patience, not as endurance, but as confidence. Confidence that you are exactly where you need to be to learn what you need to learn. This is where anxiety dissolves. Anxiety is the mind trying to live in a future it cannot control. Calmness brings you back to the present, where control is not required, only presence is. In the present moment you can breathe, you can observe, you can choose. The present is the only place where real power exists, and calmness keeps you there. As calmness deepens, you begin to notice something unexpected. Gratitude starts appearing naturally. Not forced gratitude, not motivational gratitude, but quiet appreciation. You notice small things again, a conversation, a moment of clarity, a sense of inner space. You realize that life was never empty, you were just too rushed to feel it. Calmness restores sensitivity, and sensitivity restores meaning. This sensitivity does not make you fragile, it makes you human. You feel more, but you suffer less. Because suffering comes from resistance, not from feeling. Calmness allows emotions to pass through you without trapping you. You cry without collapsing. You feel sadness without becoming hopeless. You feel joy without clinging. This emotional fluidity is freedom. People often fear calmness because they associate it with losing ambition. But calmness does not kill ambition. It purifies it. You no longer chase goals to fill a void. You pursue them because they align with who you are. Your ambition becomes cleaner, quieter, and more sustainable. You work hard without burning yourself out. You strive without self-violence. And this balance allows you to go further than intensity ever could. Calmness also changes how you relate to others. You stop needing to win every argument. You stop taking everything personally. You stop reacting to projections that were never about you. This doesn't make you indifferent, it makes you emotionally intelligent. You choose peace over proving a point, and in doing so, you preserve your energy for what actually matters. This is when respect follows naturally, not because you demand it, but because people feel your stability. Calmness has a gravity to it. It makes others feel safe. It makes your presence grounding. You become someone who does not escalate chaos, but dissolves it. And this is a rare quality in a world addicted to reaction. As life continues to unfold, you begin to see that everything you went through had a purpose. Not a dramatic purpose, but a refining one. The delays taught you patience. The silence taught you self-connection. The uncertainty taught you trust. The chaos taught you adaptability. And calmness integrates all of it. It turns experience into wisdom. Wisdom is not knowledge. Wisdom is embodied understanding. It shows in how you breathe under pressure, how you listen instead of interrupt, how you pause instead of panic. Calmness is wisdom in motion, and once you have it, you are no longer at war with life. Your time begins to arrive in subtle ways. Opportunities feel less forced. Doors open without struggle. You meet the right people without chasing, not because you manipulated reality, but because you aligned with it. Calmness creates alignment. Alignment creates flow, and flow feels like effort without resistance. When success comes from this place, it does not disturb your peace. It enhances it. You enjoy it without fear of losing it. You share it without ego. You use it without being used by it. This is why calmness is the final preparation. Without it, success destabilizes. With it, success integrates. And if success doesn't come in the form you expected, calmness ensures that your life still feels meaningful. You don't postpone living until conditions improve. You live fully now. You stop waiting for permission to be at peace. You stop outsourcing happiness to future milestones. Calmness brings fulfillment into the present moment, where it belongs. Eventually you understand something that cannot be explained, only lived. Life was never against you. It was sculpting you. Every moment of discomfort was shaping your capacity. Every delay was building your depth. Every challenge was inviting you to become more conscious. And calmness was the state that allowed you to receive these lessons without breaking. So when chaos returns, and it will, you greet it differently. You don't panic. You don't dramatize. You don't collapse. You breathe. You observe. You respond. And in that response, life recognizes you as ready. This is what it means when we say, your time will come, not as a reward, not as compensation, but as a natural consequence of inner readiness. And when it comes, you will not rush to prove anything. You will not fear losing it. You will not forget yourself. You will move forward calmly, and that calmness will be your greatest success. Remember this: life does not test you to see if you will fall. Life tests you to see if you will remember who you are. When you put your faith not in outcomes, not in timelines, not in human approval, but in your inner alignment and higher truth, fear slowly loses its authority. You may not know how everything will unfold, but you know one thing with certainty: you are being guided, shaped, and prepared with intelligence greater than your own. What is meant for you will never miss you. What misses you was never meant to stay. So stay calm in chaos, stay honest in effort, stay grounded in faith. Because when your inner world is steady, the outer world eventually follows. And when you, with awareness, patience, and trust, life opens doors, not because you forced them, but because you were ready to walk through them. Carry this with you and act on it today. Breathe before you react. Choose awareness over fear. Trust the timing that is shaping you. Your time is not delayed. At the deepest level, life is not asking you to become more successful, more impressive, or more admired. Life is asking you to become more aligned with truth, aligned with awareness, aligned with the quiet intelligence that moves the stars, grows the trees, and guides your breath without effort. When you understand this, faith stops being an idea and becomes a lived experience. Faith is not believing that everything will go the way you want. Faith is knowing that whatever comes, you will not be abandoned by life. Faith is not certainty about outcomes. It is certainty about inner guidance. It is the trust that even when the road bends unexpectedly, it is still leading somewhere meaningful. Most people lose faith because they confuse delay with denial. They think unanswered prayers mean rejection, but often unanswered prayers are life saying, wait, grow, prepare. Just as a child is not given responsibility before strength, life does not give fulfillment before consciousness. What you are asking for carries weight, and life, in its compassion, makes sure you are strong enough to carry it without losing yourself. When you put faith in your inner values instead of external validation, fear naturally loosens its grip. Fear thrives on uncertainty, but faith understands something deeper, that uncertainty is not chaos, it is potential. The unknown is not empty. It is alive with possibility. And when you meet the unknown with trust, instead of panic, it begins to cooperate with you. This is why calmness is sacred. Calmness is faith in motion. It is the silent prayer that says, I may not understand everything, but I trust the process shaping me. Calmness tells life that you are listening, and life responds differently to those who listen. There will be moments when you feel alone, when your efforts are invisible, when your progress seems slow compared to others. In those moments, faith reminds you that roots grow in darkness. No one applauds the seed underground, yet without that hidden phase, nothing ever blooms. Your unseen effort is not wasted. It is being stored, strengthened, refined. Faith also teaches you patience without bitterness. Patience that is resentful is still resistance. But patient faith is soft. It says, I am willing to wait because I trust the intelligence behind the timing. This kind of patience does not drain you. It stabilizes you. It allows you to keep showing up without hardening your heart. And understand this clearly. Faith does not mean you stop acting. Faith means you act without desperation. You do your part fully, sincerely, and consciously. And then you let go of the illusion that you control the outcome. You plant, you water, you care, but you don't force the flower to bloom. That forcing is what exhausts the soul. When you live this way, something beautiful happens. Your actions become clean. You work because it is right, not because you are afraid. You choose integrity even when shortcuts are tempting. You stay honest even when dishonesty seems easier. And these choices shape your destiny far more than luck ever could. Faith is also the courage to remain kind in a harsh world, to stay ethical in an impatient culture, to stay grounded in a society addicted to noise. This kind of faith is revolutionary. It says, I will not become bitter just because life is challenging. I will not lose my soul just to gain the world. Life watches this, not as judgment, but as recognition. When life sees that success will not corrupt you, it begins to trust you with more. When it sees that power will not inflate you, it begins to hand it to you. When it sees that attention will not distract you, it allows you to be seen. This is not reward, it is alignment. And even if your path never looks dramatic, faith ensures it remains meaningful. You stop measuring life by comparison and start measuring it by depth. You value peace over applause, presence over performance, truth over trends, and in doing so, you experience a richness that cannot be taken away. There is a quiet dignity that comes from trusting life deeply. You walk differently, you speak differently, you listen more, you react less. You no longer feel the need to announce who you are becoming. Your energy speaks for you. And this quiet dignity attracts the right opportunities, relationships, and moments at the right time. Remember this always. What is truly meant for you will arrive without violence. It will not require you to betray yourself, rush your growth, or live in constant anxiety. What is meant for you will feel challenging, yes, but it will also feel right. It will stretch you, but not break you. It will demand effort, but not self-hatred. Faith teaches you to recognize this difference. So when chaos returns, and it will, do not ask, why is this happening to me? Ask instead, what is this preparing me for? This question alone can turn suffering into wisdom. It shifts you from victimhood to participation, from fear to curiosity, from collapse to consciousness. Act on this faith daily, not as belief, but as practice. Pause before reacting, breathe before deciding, listen before speaking. Choose awareness over impulse. These small acts, repeated consistently, build a life that feels steady even when circumstances change. Your time is not something you chase. It is something you grow into, and when it arrives, you will not feel frantic. You will not feel unworthy. You will not feel lost. You will feel ready, because faith does not rush you to the destination. It prepares you to stand firmly when you arrive, and that is the greatest blessing of all. Remember this and carry it into your life. Nothing real is ever lost. Nothing meant for you is ever late. When you place your faith not in speed, not in outcomes, but in awareness and right action, life begins to move with you instead of against you. You may not see the whole path, but you don't need to. You only need the courage to take the next conscious step. So stay calm when chaos surrounds you. Stay grounded when answers don't come immediately. Stay disciplined when the world rushes, because faith is not waiting for the storm to pass. Faith is learning how to walk steadily through it. Act today with clarity. Respond, don't react. Trust the timing that is shaping you. Your time is not delayed, it is aligning. And when it arrives, you will meet it with peace, strength, and purpose. Ready.